Hey guys, this is Pino of DFT Games. Welcome to this introduction to our pooling system. If you're looking for the tutorial, please skip to the next video. Otherwise, please keep watching because this will explain you what a pooling manager is and why you actually need one. So let's first import into Unity the pooling system and let's open the demo scene. So in this demo scene, we're going to see something that's pretty straightforward, easy to understand. We have a bunch of objects that are dropped from the sky, and when they hit the plane, they are destroyed. Now, in a real life situation, creating and destroying object at a high rate will create a lot of memory garbage, so the frame rate will obviously slowly drop, depending also on the device that is running the game, obviously, because if you have a very good computer, you don't really care. But most of computers and devices and phones and tablets, they actually have a big problem with creating and destroying objects all the time in at a very fast pace. That's why we need to create a pool of ready-to-use objects, and instead of creating and destroying them, we only create them once when we load the scene, and then we pick from this pool the object that we need to use and to show to the player, and when we don't need any longer, we just send it back to the pool. So we don't actually destroy anything, right? And that allows us to have a very fast creation and destruction of the game of the objects, because we are not really creating, we are not really destroying, unless the pool needs to be increased. And again, the pool manager takes care of that for us. Let's just see how this works. So I have this plane, there is a mesh collider on the plane, and I have a capsule object, a cube object, and a sphere object, just for the sake of uh, you know uh, variety. Okay, and I have here a nice plane. When these hits the plane, they're destroyed. Just like that, we have a very simple script here. Object collision. If we look at it, it's just a couple of lines, as you can see here. Right, on collision enter, we send the message dismiss. As you can see, we just send the message dismiss. This because the pool manager adds a couple of lines of script to the object that contains a method that actually dismisses the object, sending it back to the pool. So very easy, very straightforward. And let's run it. Here we go. As you can see, it's raining cubes, sphere, and capsules, and here on the left hand side in the hierarchy pan, you can see the objects that are activated and deactivated as necessary. So we do not have any creation and destruction of object. We just activate and deactivate them. This is done by the pooling manager. There is also another behavior that is an optional one. If you want, you activate, otherwise you don't, which is the optimization of the pool themselves. As you can see, the amount of objects, let's open this up, the amount of objects in that are actually there, every 10 seconds they are revised, and the pools are reduced in this case, because you can define a ratio between the objects that are in use and the objects that are ready to be used, and the system can get rid of the objects in excess to accommodate the ratio that you have decided. Now, again, this is completely optional. It's just a line of code that if you want, you add in your update in the game manager. Otherwise, you just don't. If you don't, the pools just stays there up until you just unload the scene. Okay, usually you don't really see these pools grow. That's depending on how many objects you are going to instantiate. The fact is that sometimes you have a burst of objects, a bunch of objects that are necessary for a specific situation, so you have to burst out 100 objects, so the pool increases, and then they stay there, they sit there, they occupy memory, and then they're not used any longer because that was just for one specific occasion. So it's up to you to organize your needs, creating a decent amount of objects when the pool starts up, because obviously you can tell the pool, create the pool manager to create a pool of spheres, and that sphere pool has to be, I don't know, 10 objects. So you have to actually think about that and decide what to do. Now, this is a typed pool manager. Why typed? That's pretty easy. When you instantiate an object, you don't really necessarily need to have a game object back, right? You might need to have a transform back, or you might need to have your own script. Maybe you have I don't know, the gun script, or the whatever, the character controller, maybe if it's a bunch of characters for AI that you are managing through a pool. So this is a typed system, so you can tell him, listen, this is the game object, the prefab that I want you to pool, but I want you to give me back my script when I actually request an element from the pool. So when you pick it from the pool, you get straight the component that you need without having to go through the get component from a gauge object. We do that for you. So that makes also the code very easy to read and lighter. So you only need to concentrate on the logic, the game logic, without having to deal with getting components and all. At least not as much as usually you have to do that. Okay, so this is pretty much all about presenting the system and understanding what this is. Okay, so next video will be how to use it. So I'll see you there if you need it. Cheers, thank you for watching.